Good afternoon, everyone. We want to welcome you to our special school board meeting for the 23rd of July. We have all school board members present, so we have a quorum, and we have 1.02 in front of us. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda, please.
I have a motion by Ms. Phelps. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Twigg. Any discussion? We'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries 7-0. If the assembly would please stand as Ms. Phelps leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mrs. Phelps. We are now at 3.01. It ought to be resolved that this board conduct a closed meeting for the following purposes: consideration of candidates for employment, assignment, promotion, demotion, and discipline of employees, or resignation of employees who have a contractual commitment to the board as permitted by 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia, and consultation with legal counsel and briefings by staff members pertaining to actual or probable litigation where such consultation or briefing in open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating or litigation posture of the public body pursuant to Section 2.2-3711A7 of the Code of Virginia. Will there be a motion?
So move, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion by Mr. Blaine. Is there a second? Second by Dr. Meyer. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries 7-0. We are now in closed session. Now the chair will entertain a motion to re-enter open session.
I'd like to make a motion to re-enter open session.
Thank you, Ms. Shelley, and we have a second by Mr. Blaine. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Hearing any opposed? Hearing any? Any opposed? None. Okay, motion carries 7-0. We're back in open session. Certification of closed meeting. Whereas the Spotsylvania County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3711 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by this school board that such a closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Spotsylvania County School Board hereby certifies that, to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements under this chapter, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting. We'll now entertain a motion for certification.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Ms. Phelps. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Meyer. We're going to do a roll call vote, starting with Mr. Twigg.
Twigg, aye.
Ms. Phelps.
Aye.
Mr. Blaine.
Blaine, aye.
Dr. Meyer.
Meyer, aye.
Ms. Gramp.
Gramp, aye.
Ms. Shelley.
Shelley, aye.
And Chair, aye. Moving on to 5.01, items from closed meeting. Dr. Martin.
Motion from closed session is that the school board accepts the recommendation of the superintendent for personnel appointments, assignments, transfers, resignations, and retirements as presented and discussed in closed meeting and permitted by Section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. Do we have a motion?
So move, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Dr. Meyer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Phelps. We'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Motion carries 7-0. We have one action item before us this afternoon, 6.01, approval of permanent easement to Rappahannock Electric Cooperative to provide electric power to the modular units at Parkside Elementary School via underground utility conduit. Mr. Upperco.
Thank you, Chairman Braswell, members of the board, Dr. Baker, Dr. Martin. In order to provide electrical power to the modular units at Parkside Elementary School, the installation of an underground utility conduit is necessary per the attached sketch in the right-of-way easement data document. The easement is deemed beneficial to all parties, and frankly, we need it in order to provide electricity.
Thank you, Mr. Upperco. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Moved by Dr. Meyer. Second? Second by Ms. Shelley. Discussion. Any discussion?
I just
Ms.
have
Phelps.
a quick question. How long is the easement for the electricity going to
I'm sorry, how
be
long?
there? Can you hear me? How long is the electricity coming from REC going to be into the trailers?
For R.E. Lee?
No, isn't it
For-
Rappahannock Electric Cooperative?
How long?
Yeah, like, in other words, what is the time frame?
As soon as we are able to pass this easement, then we'll, probably within 2 days.
Does it have to go
3
through
days,
the
we'll be able
county?
to get the power up, but they need the easement in order to get the permit, in order to get the electricity in.
And
You're
so,
only talking about a 15-foot swath, basically, out from the building to the actual mod.
how long is the pod going to be there?
How much what?
How long is the pod going to be there? Is that the trailer that's going outside?
It'll be, actually, there's a unit of 4 modulars there together, and it's actually, as you know, it came from the units that were originally configured at Cortland High School. And so we have reconfigured those units and put 4 out of the, where the units used to be several years ago, before I got here. There were modular at that same site. So really, it's a relatively easy installation, but we got to have the electricity in order to do it.
Are they permanent then?
Are they?
Permanent, the modules?
Well, modulars aren't meant to be permanent, but I don't know how many years they'll be there. But they are made to last for a number of years. And it kind of depends on, this population situation in the county and whether we redistrict and how that all plays out in the future.
Fair enough, thank you.
I'm sorry, I can't hear it too well.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Hearing none, the motion carries 7-0. We are now at 7.01, and we're calling for adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Phelps. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Shelley, and we'll adjourn by unanimous consent.